So, hi everyone. First of all, thanks for playing this kind of game with me here as I was leaving you some very mysterious hints through my blog and on Twitter leading up to this really big news that I wanted to share with you today. I feel so lucky and so energized to be a part of this educator community that we all share. And so I wanted you all to be here with me so I could talk to you, even though you're not physically in this room with me. I could more or less kind of talk to you in person. So here we are. So there was lots of good guesses as to what this big news might be. So let me remove some of those for you so you can continue to think, well, what could this be? So first of all, there was, maybe it's a new book. And while I am in the process of researching and writing a book right now, nope, it's not a new book. So you can check that off your list. There was a really great suggestion of maybe I'm going into education policy. Which actually I would love to do, and like the blog post I wrote a couple weeks ago, I think more of us need to. But no, unfortunately right now, I'm not running for any sort of public office nor joining any political group in that way. But I do think that there's a place for educators there and that we need more of us in those sorts of roles. So we'll check that off the list too. So then that doesn't leave very many things left. So let me first tell you just a quick kind of lead up, sort of a story to this big news that I have, and then I'll share a little bit more about the news. So the lead up starts in many places, but one of them in particular is at the NCTE annual convention last year. Heinemann held an event in honor of Don Graves, the great godfather of literacy education. Lucy Calkins studied with him, Nancy Atwell studied with him. He really created for all of us a path to looking at children in new ways in classrooms. So at that event, there were many speakers, including Tom Newkirk. And Tom Newkirk, towards the end of the event, said something to the audience that really resonated with me. He looked at everyone, there were a lot of people there, and he looked out over the audience and he said, you know, what we really need is a next generation. He said, we really are looking to you, educators out in the audience, and especially those of you that are new in your career or just emerging in your careers. We're really looking to you for next steps, for leadership. We've done so much. People like Don and Lucy and Nancy and Tom and Penny, Donalyn, so many of you are continuing to create new worlds for us as teachers. And so he looked out and said, we need what's coming next. And I sat there and I didn't feel like I was necessarily the next, because I feel very lucky that I have a voice with many of you, that I am able to reach out through my writing and my blogs and speaking, and that some of you would even show up to a strange event like this. So I do feel like I have somewhat of a voice, and I'm lucky to have it. But I did think a lot about that, about what could I possibly do to support emerging voices and to support kind of what's coming next. I thought a lot about my colleagues, people who are incredible educators and well-known in their own right, and then those people as well that are incredible educators and are looking for ways to find a voice. So that was one place. Another place was thinking about the kind of doom and gloom that's around us, the voices of politicians, the voices of organization leaders that are saying that teachers have this sort of blasé attitude about education, that our system is failing everyone. And I know we're all struggling with that. And one thing that's resonated for me is the research and real calls for collaboration. The look at how when people work together, we can find real solutions. How when I'm working in groups, I feel so energized, and those groups could be in person or those groups could be online. So for example, Twitter for me has completely changed the way I feel about our profession and the way I feel about myself at times when I just feel bogged down and you know, moody and depressed about everything that's happening in our world. I get on Twitter and I'm instantly connected with educators that I love and admire and I feel energized by. So I felt this real need to try to connect people and this real need to really look forward to the future of education, what's coming next. So here's the big news. Today is the official launch of a think tank, an education consulting agency, and lots of other things that I formed, and it's called the Educator Collaborative. So here's a view at that, and then I'll share a little more information with you as well. So the Educator Collaborative has collaboration exactly in its name, and our motto is collaboration creates opportunity. What we aim to do is to work together in order to think about next big things in education, in order to work on our own best practices. But what we also are aiming to do is to really innovate ways that educators collaborate with each other, both in person and especially online. We're interested in studying and looking at new and emerging technology and finding ways to help you and all of us really connect to one another. Inside of this group, we'll do some pretty traditional professional development sorts of things that feel important, like speaking in public at speaking engagements or consulting with schools. But what we also are looking to do is to find not just new ways of meeting online, but making those feel more personal and connected to help you as you engage with others online to really try to solve some of the big questions and big problems that are facing us in education, and really just to try to energize each other more. There's lots of different places that you can find us, and I'm flipping through a few slides here to find it. One of those, oops, here I just closed it. One of those is we naturally do have a Twitter presence that is just starting today, so you can find us at the Ed Collab, or you can use hashtag the Ed Collab, and so that's a place that we'll connect and talk and grow together. As of right now, there is one tweet, but there plans to be many, many more. I also want to share with you some of the really interesting, cool stuff that we're starting to think about and do together right now. And then I'll introduce you to some of the people that are joining our group that I'm so excited about. So one of the places that you can find us is, well, I seem to have lost the slide for myself. I'll tell you. So one of the places that you can find us is on our website. Now, true to form, whenever something big is about to happen, there's always 1,000 things that go right and a couple of things that don't go so right. And so as of last night and into this morning, I've been in constant touch with our IT people because our website has been dragging and then crashing and then opening and then crashing. So I'm going to give you our website address and a really cool additional website address. But if today you can't seem to log on, we're working on it. I honestly, up until the last 5 minutes before I came online, that was part of what I was doing. So you can find us at theeducatorcollaborative.com. And on that homepage, you'll see lots of our offerings and some of the next steps that we have. You'll get to meet our people. There's also ways that you can contact us as well. So that's one of our websites, theeducatorcollaborative.com. Another website, another set of offerings that we're really excited about and looks awesome is a sister website called community.theeducatorcollaborative.com. And community, I do have a slide for that, and community.theeducatorcollaborative.com is sort of like a social network for teachers. It's a forum, it's a group setting, it's very easy to join, and there's lots of ways that you can interact. When you join the site, you can create your own groups, you can ask questions on the forum, you can ask questions of each other. So that's community.theeducatorcollaborative.com. I think it looks pretty awesome. I learned way more about web design. I built these sites myself, and I learned way more about web design and coding and other insane, crazy things like how databases can go down, as did last night, more than I ever thought I would learn. So those are places that you can find us. So now a couple of the bigger things. So one is collaboration is at the heart of all this work that we're doing. And it's collaboration amongst members of our team, but also what we're really hoping and planning for is a collaboration with all of you. So first, a little bit about our team. I started the Educator Collaborative with this laptop and myself and nothing else, just some wishes and dreams and many fears and lots of stomach aches. But what I did do is I started to reach out to people that I really love and trust and just believe are experts in their own right, that I learn from constantly. So I invited people along, and I felt so lucky that they've all said yes. There's a few more that we're working out some contract details, or we're getting some other things together, so there's a few more faces that hopefully we'll be able to announce soon. But just to start, what you'll notice when I show you some of our names, you can find them on our website too, is that these are people that work in grades K through 12. They have literacy experience. Many of them also bring, really important, a technology background or real interest in innovating around technology. One thing that also makes us unique is that all the members of our group are in education in some other way. No one is joining the Educator Collaborative full-time. Instead, these are all people that have other important jobs that they're doing in education. So this is just a screenshot from our website, but you'll be able to go to this as well. So Laura Fleming is a library and media coordinator at a high school in New Jersey. She also is an incredible tech evangelist and tech innovator. Her work around makerspaces and badges and just really innovating the ways that teachers use technology and technology supports learning is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy to have her along. There's Renee Hauser, and actually if you jump down to the next line, there's Jess Martin. Renee and Jess are leaders of an organization called Growing Educators. You can find them at their website too, Growing Educators, which is a think tank and staff development organization in Southern California that has done incredible and quickly growing work in Los Angeles schools, in schools throughout Southern California, and more throughout the country. They have a team of staff developers that they train and work with and work in schools, and I am so unbelievably lucky and grateful that they're coming along for this journey with me, despite leading their own organization too, especially to work in the fields of online learning and supporting collaboration educators across the country. Elizabeth Lacey is a literacy coach, a former classroom teacher, a former reading specialist. She brings incredible knowledge of using data in ways that don't stink. It's basically a good way to say it. She has innovated school, student, and teacher surveys. She has worked on ways of collecting data on her own practice as a literacy coach. And I have learned so incredibly much from her about just a clear vision and real risk-taking and rollout when it comes to rethinking processes and structures in a school. Many of you know, if you go to the next line, Christy Moretz. Christy is an author. She is co-author of the great blog Chart Chums with Marjorie Martinelli. She's currently a kindergarten teacher. Christy does incredible work in thinking about the ways that students learn, both through play. She's doing a lot of research around that now, and looking at technology. I'm also lucky to have her and my great colleague and friend Kate Roberts. The three of us are working together on some research around close reading and the early grades. So we've had a friendship for many years. We first met at the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project, and we have since grown into co-authors and co-planners, and I feel so lucky to have her along. You also, I'm sure, know Minu Rami. Minu Rami is the founder and host of EngChat, a popular Twitter chat. Her new book, Thrive, came out earlier this year. She works at Science Leadership Academy with another Chris Lehman. He has two N's in his last name, and no, we're not the same people, though he's awesome. Minu is an incredible teacher. In Science Leadership Academy, she and her colleagues have worked a great deal on one-to-one initiatives with her high school students on supporting their choice and voice. She's an incredible literacy teacher and even more amazing when it comes to technology, and I'm so lucky to have her along. Dana Stachowiak is an assistant professor at a University of Louisiana. She also is a consultant and former literacy coach and classroom teacher working with elementary and middle school students. Her PhD was in diversity and multicultural studies, and she not only is brilliant when it comes to literacy, but she also does amazing work in helping students have more voice, and teachers as well, and really helping us think about our curriculum and our offerings as being as diverse and large an umbrella as possible. I constantly learn a great deal from her, and I'm looking forward to all of her work to come. And then lastly, at least on this list, is Brian Sweeney. Brian Sweeney is formerly a literacy coach. He is now a teacher. He teaches high school here in New York. He is also the advisor of an online newspaper. You can find links to it through his bio section of our website, where he has completely transformed the way that student journalism works, both in an online setting, but also supporting students' freedoms and rights and abilities to speak to power. His work has gained numerous awards from journalist societies across the country, and he's really gaining some acclaim for the work that he's doing in that field. And so we're completely delighted and excited to have him along. And as I said, there's a few other people that are either just coming on or in the process of too, and so I look forward to sharing them with you in the coming weeks. So that's our incredible team. So just a few more things about what's next, like what's to come. So one thing that we're aiming to do is to try to make online learning and connections feel more personal and feel more interactive. So one offering that we're going to be sharing soon is connected to our Educator community page. So the Educator community page is an online way that you can post questions and answers and support other educators in trying to figure out big problems of practice. We want to bring that to a more personalized and kind of in-person world as well. So one of our plans is we'll have monthly, starting very soon, we'll have monthly online meetings where we'll take some of the most popular questions from our community forum, from the ones that you're discussing, and we'll bring some of our experts, some other experts, and even some of you, especially if you're posting an answer to something that's getting a lot of interest or that we find particularly interested, we'll invite you along as well. And we'll have either a Google Hangout like this, or more likely we'll engage in a virtual conference call where a whole bunch of us can get on at the same time, and we'll be able to, in real time, talk more about some of those issues that have come up. So our Community Live offering will be free. Anyone can register for it and show up as long as there's space available. And it'll be an opportunity for us to take the forum work that you're all doing and that we're doing with you and bring it to a live in-person audience. We're also looking forward to bringing along some of our other educator friends and experts who aren't necessarily members of our team, but that could help answer some of these questions too and engage in a dialogue with you. So we look forward to that. We look forward to helping some of you talk to a larger audience as well. So that's one offering. Another that we're excited about is one that we're providing as a feature for schools. So one of those is our coaching think tanks. So one thing that we love about webinars or Google Hangouts on air like this one is that we can speak to a large audience. One thing that we don't love about those is that you can't speak to me, is that it's very hard to really interact together. So some of you right now are like, yay, go Chris, and I don't know that. And some of you are like, what is he talking about? And I don't know that either, which is probably good. But it's hard to interact. So our coaching think tanks are a way that we can meet intimately with groups of literacy coaches or technology coaches that really need support. Our coaching think tanks will be led by members of our community. They'll be set up for new to coaching, for advanced literacy coaching, and for technology and education. Each coaching think tank will only hold 9 members because we're going to hold them through a Google Hangout that won't be on air, so it won't be live broadcast. Instead, it'll be an intimate, small setting, so kind of like Las Vegas, whatever you say there can stay there. But these are groups that will meet across the year. There'll be several sessions as the year goes on where we can check in together, support you with ideas and thinking that our group is developing, but also give you an opportunity to connect with other fellow coaches too. Those coaching think tanks will also have access to a private section of the forum that's made just for coaches in those groups, so you can continue to connect and talk together more. That's an offering that is for schools to purchase for coaches. And one thing we're thinking about our paid offerings is they're priced in a way that they're lower than a typical consultant's fee for coming to your school, but they still are priced in order to support all of our work. Our goal is that we can give a large amount of our time and efforts and work for free to our community, kind of like the coaching, the community live work that we're doing, or the online forums that we've set up for you. And so in order to do that, some of our other services, instead of being priced directly for educators, we're really targeting those towards school communities. So they'll cost less than flying a consultant out to your school for a day, but they will support us in offering lots of other things to coaches and to schools as well. Then we have our traditional offerings. Any of our consultants are available for speaking engagements or for coming to your school to work with you, or for virtual meetings as well. So all of those you can contact us through our blog as ways of connecting. Then on our side of things, though we are all across the country, we will be meeting in think tanks throughout the year, and it's a way that we can continue to grow, to study research, and to share our challenges and best practices. Our motto is collaboration creates opportunity, and it's something that we live in and breathe in ourselves as well. So here we are at the start of this brand new organization, this brand new journey. I have to say my heart's been racing up until today, and there still are 1,000 things that I know I need to get done. But I feel so incredibly honored to be able to share this news with you, to be able to launch this new child out into the world and see what happens next. I felt so blessed and proud and excited that the members of my team now agreed to join us, and we're only hoping that you'll join us as well too. So here we are, off into the future together. I want you to remember that everything that you do every day matters, and we hope that our community can be just one of the many ways that you're connecting with others. We hope that it can lift you up at times when you need it. We hope that it can support the work that you're doing, and we hope that we together, both in our team and with all of you, can continue to be educators who are really working to build the best in education. Thank you for joining me this morning. It was so fun to have this event with you, and I feel so excited as well. So feel free to drop a line to me, to visit our website as long as it's working. We're working on that. And more than anything else, I look forward to being connected more in the future. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week and a terrific weekend.